Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO podcast. My name is Donnie Peters. He is Tim Duckworth. It is 2:06 a.m. on Sunday, July 6th.
Correct.
I got to get up soon to play day two of the main event. So, burning the midnight oil here, or the 2 a.m. oil, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Day 1D of the WSOP main event wrapped up today. So we'll talk about that. Probably the biggest story to come out of it, or biggest talking point, is the numbers. Mm-hmm. So we're going to hit on those. Yes. I know my stack guy over here got him ready to go. Mike Gorodinsky won a gold bracelet today, his fifth. Katz is down to the final four in the $2,500 Freezeout. Sean Deeb right now is down to the final four in the 1K Freezeout. So was it a 1K Freezeout or just a 1K?
I think it's just a 1K. No,
okay, just a 1K, whatever. Same thing. And then we got some community cards that we'll talk about towards the end of the show. I got a little show and tell.
Okay.
Which is actually fitting for the day. Okay, so
interesting. And we're going to talk about my big race.
And then we're going to talk about Ducky's big race, whatever the hell that means. I have no idea what that means. But yeah, if you're listening, if you're watching on YouTube, whatever you got to do, like, subscribe, follow, retweet, post, comment, all of that sort of stuff. Yep. Okay, make it happen for us, please. It does help us grow. Trust me, it really, really, really does. So just a click of that thumbs up if you're on YouTube. Just to subscribe to the PokerGO YouTube channel. If you're elsewhere, leaving us a review, giving us a 5-star rating, whatever it is, it does help us grow. Okay, it helps the algorithms. It feeds the beast, and that it'll spread this show far and wide. If you love poker, but you don't want to spend a dime, you should check out Play Poker Go. It's free to play. It is super easy to jump into. And yes, it is authentic. It is real. It plays like the true thing, like the real thing when you're out there playing. Remco and I battled once again in free rolls. He got the best of me.
What's his name? Is he PokerGO Remco?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, and he's got the best of me again, just nonstop outlasting me.
You suck.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. Real players, real hands, real funds. It's all available on playpokergo.com. Ring games, tournaments, and sit and goes. It's all there. So playpokergo.com if you want to get started for free, or you can also download it to your iOS or Android device. All right, buddy. Let me know about these numbers. I think they came in around 5,000. Right? For the day.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of survivors. 4,997. So a couple short of 5,000. I want to just double check the app real quick because you never know the finishing amount, but they did have 3,779 on the clock when they were bagging up. That takes us to a field of 8,694 total entrants across the day one flights. 6,461 have advanced. Now, how does that compare to 2024? Total entrants in 2024 at this point was 9,288. That is 6.4% down from last year.
Wait, what was that number? That was through the
9,288 through the first four flights.
I saw a different number, but it's still very close. I saw 9,259 from Lance Bradley on social media.
Lance
so it's very close to your number. So in that ballpark.
Yeah. So down a little bit. Survivors so far for this year 6,461. Last year 6,966. That is 7.25% down. Now let's talk about why that is. I have kind of been preaching this. And we're going to obviously see tomorrow and the next day after that. I think we're going to see a higher rate of day two registration for several reasons. More offerings around town. Talking about Sean D playing this 1K. We got Katz at the 2,500 final table. Just more offerings here, Win, Venetian, everywhere. So I think people will wait to jump in on day two where you can start with, 50, 60, 70 bigs, which is a plenty amount of starting chips. And for what it's worth, as of about an hour ago, nearly 100 players have already pre-registered for Day 2 ABC and Day 2D. If we're looking at... I accidentally closed
100?
100 already.
Doesn't sound like a lot.
Why do you think that's not a lot?
It just doesn't sound like a lot.
So last year, on Day 2AB, we had 200 new. It's already halfway there. So I would say you're wrong. On day 2D, we had 618, big number. So I'll obviously track that tomorrow, see how that correlates to some of this other data. Speaking of the players advancing, being lower than on par, I guess I'm going to follow that with saying I think players are gambling a little bit more because there are more offerings around town. We look at the PokerGO studio, we've got a single day 15Ks going on over there, getting pretty good numbers. Got some high rollers coming up. So I think, we've talked about Sean Deeb not wanting to be stuck in the main event for 13 days. I think some other pros may also feel the same way that, hey, this is obviously a great opportunity to win $10 million, but it's going to suck 2 weeks out of my poker life where I could potentially have much more better ROI for my time spent in the Horseshoe in other events. So I think, taking a few more strategically marginal spots than normal is kind of maybe one reason why this percentage a little bit more than it should be. They're just my hot takes on the numbers. Obviously, don't really have much more on it except for my kind of brain trying to tick over some answers at 2 a.m.
I think overall the numbers are a factor of one thing and one thing only, and this is just my thought. This is not anything that's proven. I definitely think that you could prove this, or at least WSOP could prove this. They could look into their own numbers. I don't think that they would ever make this public, but because numbers are up in a lot of spots at all over the WSOP, right? I would love, and I believe you mentioned this, a couple episodes ago, but what are the uniques versus the reentries?
Yeah, exactly.
I would guess that the reentries are doing very well and making up for the fact that there are fewer uniques. I just listen. This is just kind of anecdotally, and it's not backed up by any hard data. But I feel like I'm seeing less of the faces, specifically European players, than I have in past years.
Yeah.
So maybe fewer of them came over. The American contingent is still very strong, and they're making up for it with a bunch of reentries in a lot of spots.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have to also factor in that people can fire a lot of reentries in stuff like the Millie Maker, the Monster Stack, the Colossus, etc. When not Colossus, but whatever, the stuff that they've added or an extra starting flight to, right? You can basically put one or two more bullets in. So all that adds up. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is that if you were to look into the data, peel back the curtain a little bit, then you would probably see that uniques are down slightly or trending the same, and then reentries are what are up, and that's what's making up for the fact that that's what's making the numbers look like they're very much up. But then when you get to a massive freeze out like this, shout out massive, then that's when it kind of all comes home to roost in the way that we just don't see it now. I also think that these day 2 entries, I do agree with you. I think we're going to see some incredible numbers. I think it was around 800 to 850 or something total between the late entries last year. I think we pushed 1,000. So we'll see.
Yeah, 824 across the 2 day 2s in 2024. 2023, we had 703. So nice little increase there of 121. And then in 2022, it was 659. So another increase. So, year-on-year increases with day 2 registration. I think you and me may have discussed this today. That, you've got to come in level 3, all right? Start at level 3, you have to sit down. There's no blinds dodging because I already got told off by the head TD here that I couldn't do that when I decided to jump in on day 2D. I don't see, if you extend that to one more level plus the dinner break, I'm not saying you're going to get a plethora of entrants, but who knows, right? You got people, hey, you know what? I've got the FOMO. I'm going to drive in from LA or drive in from Arizona, drive in from Seattle, I don't know, wherever. And I think that extra, 3 hours and 25 minutes or whatever it ends up being is fine because, what is it? You're going to have 40 bigs. Okay. Most of the tournaments when you max late here at the WSOP are 10, 15, 20. So I think people is, it's obviously always on the individual who wants to max late. Like I want to, some people refuse to. But at least give that option, extend through the dinner break. You can announce the prize for the start of day 3 when all the fields here. That can be the big announcement for the shuffle up and deal. Could be Jack. It could be Jack, or maybe you bring in a celebrity and announce, you know what? Congratulations, everyone's here. We're all together in one flight. We're paying the top X players versus getting this. I think that'd be a good way to do it. So I'm just a fan of extending the registration on day 2 a little later. Just get those numbers up. Boost. Give them a boost.
All right. I mean, so what's the total number that they're at right now? 9,000.
8,694.
8,694. Okay.
Some of the numbers, if you look at some other outlets, they're going to combine some of those day 2 entrants already in. But I don't feel like
they're at 8,694.
That's what I have, adding up everything that I've pulled from the app the last 4 days.
That seems low.
Like I said, it's down 6.4% from last year. But I think we will make up that 6.4% on day 2.
I mean, so you still think we could hit 10,000?
I hope so.
I mean, that doesn't sound too confident.
Here's the thing. Okay. What hurt us is the small July 4th one. Like, we didn't get that big. Okay, we didn't get the big number on the day before.
Yeah, but okay, but like, you would think that would make up for it on the final starting flight, day 1D,
no,
and it didn't really do it.
Look, this year we had nearly 5,000, right? 4,997. Last year we had 5,014. That's the same number.
Yeah, but no, but what
I'm saying the earlier flights was what cost us. Day 1B and 1C is where we lost those numbers. Both of those are July 4th. In 2024, 1B was July 4th. In 2025, this year, 1C was July 4th.
But what I'm saying is this. Last year, okay, you had a dip from 1A to 1B. Yeah. You had a dip because 1B last year was July 4th. Yes. Okay. But then you saw a big uptick after that.
Exactly.
Even though July 4th this year was on 1C, right? And it obviously didn't dip from day 1B, but it was still less than last year's number on the same 1C, right? What I'm saying is that I thought we would then see like the 500 players or so that didn't play 1C because it's July 4th go into 1D, and that number would have been closer to 5,500 to 6,000, which we didn't get. So that's what sticks out to me and concerns me.
I think those 500 are obviously, you got some satellite winners, you got the Europeans you kind of discussed on. If they're not in 1B, I'm not sure they're going to jump in the 1D. I feel like those guys we're going to see in the 2A, BC, and the 2D. But like, we're going to know a lot tomorrow, okay? So, like I said last year, we had 206 day 2 entrants. If that number is, say, 275, okay? Let's be conservative.
It needs to be 300.
But let's just be conservative. 250, even 300, I guess, is somewhat, maybe a little too extreme, but 250. I think that bodes well that, okay, we're looking at 618 in 2024 for day 2D. Maybe that gets up to the 800, and then we're going to make up that lost ground and be around what we were last year. We really have to. We just don't know. Like, we just don't know, like, where the satellite players are. We don't know where, like we've talked on. We've been running all these 160 all-in tournaments on WSOP.com. These are going to probably be running all the way through to day 2D. So you don't know how many are going to get in those, obviously. So I'm worried, but I'm not too worried.
I don't know, man.
If I'm just going to go on my read of day 2 entrance is going to year on year continue to grow, because players like me don't want to waste 14 hours playing poker on day 1. That aren't, to be honest, aren't that good. 300 big blind poker against crushers is not where I want to be in life. Give me my 20 big blinds, give me my push fold play, and I'm good. That's all I need.
Okay.
So all right, we'll see. We're going to obviously have to follow back up on this and give a real answer. But
of course, some notable chip stacks to end the final day 1 starting flight. We have what looks to be Riva Arthur leading the way, a female player who has $264,000 in earnings. Earlier this summer, she won an $1,100 one-day event over at the Aria.
Okay.
She topped 309 entries there for $65,000. She has a cash this summer in the $800 summer celebration. She cashed in that one for $3,200, and then prior to that, she has one cash at WSOP Bahamas, and then two during the 2023 WSOP. But not a whole lot on her resume here. Most of the stuff pre this main event. It goes back to May 2023. It's all between. It looks like I see 150 is the lowest buy-in for cash, and I see 22. Looks like 2,200 is the highest buy-in for a cash. So obviously winning 65K in this ARIA tournament boosts your bankroll quite nicely. In December 2024, she won a $400 event at Foxwoods for $44,000 as well. So some nice scores there for Reva Arthur. And she has, how many chips? She bagged
401,200.
401,200.
Big,
so
big chip stack.
The biggest chip stack that we have seen so far. Romain Lequay, 296,700 for him. I'll get back to him in 1 second.
I got some fresh chip counts if you want to.
Well, what are these ones that?
These were slightly.
All right,
not
fire away.
Okay,
Just give me a handful of the big stacks.
Andrew King, 303,000. Nan Lee, not Nam Lee, 299. Romain Lacroix, 296,700. Was this the hand on the feature they were? Okay.
Yes. That's what we're going to talk about.
San Kim, 290. Jesse Bryan, 275. Nick Papillo, 263. That's some of the players in the top 10. Also bagging Jonathan Jaffe, Jerry Wong, Joey Kudin, Andrew Ostapachenko, Clemens Reuter, Phil Lack, Lataro Guerrera. And I say that name, PLO player, fellow PLO god, Veni Vidi, flew home. Didn't even play the main event. So
I mean, I'm
surprised like a Lataro Guerrero doesn't do the same thing.
I'm not sure. Did Nico Milgram play the main event? I'm not sure he did. And he actually, I do think he did. So he must have busted. I'm pretty sure it was on his schedule. But anyway, I do feel like there are a fair amount of people who skip the main.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Someone told us, Phil Sternheimer came in today to talk to us. He said this is his first year playing the main.
No.
No, the first year in a while.
In 12 years.
Yeah. That's a long time. Really quickly, Bryce Yockey, Anthony Zeno, Stephen Jones, runner of finisher, Ren Lin, all bag chips. Those, bang, knocked to the rail. Alex Foxen, Oats Overnights, Brian Tate, Maria Konnikova, Sweet Lou Garza, Alejandro Lococo, our boy Jeremy Becker, Keith Lear, Jamie Gold, Phil Ivey, David Coleman, Alan Kessler, Martin Jacobson, Ali Islami, Rampage, and Jared Bleznick. And I think you're going to talk about the Jared Bleznick elimination.
Bleznick hand was, pardon my language, absolutely, positively fucking outrageous. Okay?
Yes.
He's got that I'm crazy, I want to either get a huge stack or go home thing, and then we'll see what Locaid does here.
Yeah, they're super deep.
Oh. I mean, Kunix is not deep at all.
No, but
look at this.
16-6.
Sean Kunix grabs his shoulder.
the giggler.
Yeah, maybe a little bit inappropriate. I'm not a big fan of touching somebody else in the middle of the hand like that. But hey, you do you, Sean. Sean does fold, and action back to Blez, and now Blez got to decide. Frenchman has Bleznick covered, but these guys are exceedingly deep.
38.
And Blez goes 38,000.
And look at this.
I think he more often than not, he just has it here.
He has a customer.
He does. And look at this pot. My gosh, there's the call. The pot is 79,000 chips in there. That is an above, what is in the pot right now is above average stack right now.
He's earned his nickname.
There's a 9. Oh my gosh. Bleznick is dead. I don't know how you get away from it after you 6-bet pre.
No, basically just has a pot-sized bet left.
How do you get away from this? A nightmare situation for Bleznick.
Call 30.
There's the call. And I don't even know if there's a card that comes off that saves him. That's not it. Oh my God, he made quads. You gotta be kidding me. This is not real. There's the all in.
Wow. Oh, fuck me. Good game.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Quads. That's insane.
Insane is the only way to describe that.
Aces.
A pot of 535 big blinds in level 4 of the WSOP main event. The most ridiculous thing I have ever seen on day 1 of the WSOP main event. Well, most ridiculous thing. Bleznick, now, Jeff Platt was like standing by, like right when it happened. And like immediately, like, basically did a bust out interview with Jared Bleznick, who was all class, didn't have anything bad to say.
That's good.
Said he had a really good time playing with these people, still thinks it's the best tournament in the world, all that sort of stuff. But then whatever, cuts away from that. There's like a couple hands played or something. Then we cut back to Jared in the field. He's fucking roaming around like he's a 7-year-old and somebody just stole his dog.
Mm-hmm.
And he has no idea what to do, what to say, who to tell. I think he sees Matthew Schreiber at one point.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and he's like trying to like recap the hand to Matthew Schreiber, and at least the vibe that I got is he kept like stumbling over the hand history, and I was like, Jared is in fucking shell shocked right now with what happened. And listen, I know Jared is very well off. He's got a lot of money. He's hugely successful. 10K is not in any way, shape, or form going to hurt Jared Bleznick.
Yeah,
but I do believe him when he says how much he loves the WSOP and specifically the WSOP main event, how much he cares about this tournament, how much it is the greatest tournament in the world, which it is, and he agrees. And I think that he would love nothing more than to get a bunch of chips early and run deep in this thing. But he's just kind of like, what in the effing hell just happened to me? I mean, it's absolutely banana land out there. I mean, I can't even fathom this hand. We saw it on the broadcast, and I was just like, "What in the actual fuck did I just watch?" Okay, I'm sorry, like, just effing crazy. So that's how Romain Lequay got all of his chips. Those two hands, the aces, kings, queens hand was one. With the aces, kings, queen hand was Soderstrom opened the kings. It went 3-bet from, I believe, the button from Gould. Small blind was Lequay. He 4-bet the aces. Call from Soderstrom. Call. I think it came 7 high. It goes bet, call, fold from the queens, I think. Turn is a blank. Check from Lequay. All in from Soderstrom. Call. Snap call. And Soderstrom doesn't hit a king and he's out. So he had that hand, and then he had the hand against Jared Bleznick. That's how it was. Another person that bagged a lot of chips was John Jaffe. I think he bagged around 230 or 240. And what I heard from Ray Henson was that he beat trip aces twice.
Yeah, I saw one of those hands. One he had
top pair with ace king of clubs, and he made river to flush. And then the other guy had a top set.
Well, the other was Queen Jack X. He had the King 10.
And the other guy had aces.
Turn was one diamond, and then turn was the ace of diamonds to give him the straight, and obviously a flush redraw, which doesn't matter.
But the other guy had a set of aces again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, I guess you just got to run like the sun to bag a lot of chips in this thing. Just wild stuff. So if you haven't seen that hand with Lequay and Blez, I would highly encourage you to find it on the PokerGo Twitter accounts. It'll also, of course, be in the stream from day 1D, which you can find on demand on PokerGo.com and on the PokerGo YouTube channel. Phil Ivey, he busted out. He was seated over in Paris. He was at a table with Joseph Chong, and Joseph Chong ultimately ended up busting him. It was a blind versus blind situation. Ivey, I believe, limped small blind. Joseph Chong checked his option in the big blind. It came queen X deuce. Ivey had queen deuce. Chong had queen 7. Turn was a 7. It ends up getting all in, and Ivey's out. And that is what?
See ya.
This is my show and tell item.
Okay.
Look at this. ESPN the magazine. And now I didn't plan to bring this because of Ivy. I just planned, I said, you know what? We haven't done show and tell for a while, so whatever. I'll bring this in and I'll show it off. So it's wrapped in plastic.
Can I open it?
It's from November 2nd, 2009. There's an article in there with Chad Millman. He basically travels around, I think, for 3 or 4 days with Ivy and witnesses him gambling. This one is sealed up in this plastic.
Let's open it.
No, I have another one that is open at my house.
The same one?
Same one.
Okay.
But that's cool.
What's was that on the bottom?
I don't know. Whoever the hell ordered it.
Oh, it's not you. It's not you though.
No,
I thought it was maybe sent to you back in the day, and you bagged it up.
Some guy in Minneapolis,
Don't read the
Minnesota.
address.
But he's from Minneapolis.
Okay.
The person. So
Can I look at the front?
Huh?
Can I look at the front?
So there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is a big magazine. Bigger than
ESPN the magazine, baby. That's how it was.
that big?
Yeah, back in the day.
That's pretty cool.
That's that. So we got that. It's pretty sweet. And I think you can find that article it's still on the ESPN.com website. Again, by Chad Millman. Just Google Chad Millman, Phil Ivey, and you should be able to find it and read about it. So it's a good article, fun stuff. It'll pull at those nostalgia strings from the old school days. So that's that. What else we got main event wise?
I think that's it. I think we covered everything.
No, what do you mean that's it? Bro, come on. We almost screwed it up. We had the main event bracelet reveal from the Mind Freak.
We screwed it up?
What?
I think they screwed it up. Bye.
No, I'm saying we almost didn't talk about it.
I'm okay not talking about it. It's not the best bracelet reveal they've done. Bring back Guy Fieri. That's all I want to say.
The Guy Fieri one was incredible.
Yeah.
Because he was fucking in.
That
guy was in.
Amped.
He was so amped. I mean, Guy Fieri's the fucking man, but he was also into it. Now, I do think Criss Angel was actually kind of into it. I just thought that it wasn't that good because... So, I don't really understand what he was supposed to do. He comes in.
There's definitely a mistake in production.
He's got the bracelet in.
Yeah.
And then he goes up on the stage. This is at the second break. And at this time, we had moved a table up to the feature table.
Yeah.
It's a table with Darren Elias, Anton Wig, Ben Lamb, and there was somebody else up there.
Eric Afriat.
So they're up on the feature table. And he makes them all... He asked them all to like put their fists out and then close their eyes and to visualize like the bracelet like going around their wrist. He's talking about it, this whole thing, whatever. And then he literally just walks off with the bracelet.
So I thought
the idea was that he was supposed to make the bracelet disappear.
That's what I heard. And then I heard, no, he's just going to take it because he didn't have, maybe I'm revealing too much here, but didn't have his stuff. Whatever that is for a magician, I don't know.
Well, anyway, he literally just turned around and walked off.
I think that's where we messed up with the cameras. I think we were supposed to like cut where we didn't see, like we cut to the players and then he did the walk off. So it looked like, and then we cut back to his spot and he was gone. And then,
well, I don't know what it was. It was very weird.
That's what I think was supposed to happen.
It was very weird. I will say again, I thought he was pretty amped up. I like if that person, whoever the person is that's doing the bracelet reveal, if they have good energy, then it can translate well. And he had some decent energy coming in.
Yeah.
Right. Now I did think it was funny when they got on the loudspeaker right before he came in and they asked everyone to cheer, yell, and scream. And everyone was like,
No,
we're a bunch of poker players. What are you talking about? So yeah. But yeah. I thought Guy Fieri's was the best. I don't know why they just don't have. I don't know why you just don't have like a poker player do it. Like Daniel or Phil.
No, I like the Vegas kind of. I like a Vegas icon, celebrity. You know.
See, I don't.
Football player, something with a little bit more hype.
Okay, if that is the case, then I think it just needs better planning for how it's done, execution, etc. And then they showed the bracelet box like much later in the stream, and there was no bracelet in it.
Because he disappeared. Criss Angel disappeared.
I don't understand.
That's the whole point.
But the thing is like, I get that he disappeared, but you watched him on the stream, like you
That's what I'm
watched him
saying.
just
I think
walk
we
away.
messed that
It
part
was
up.
so weird. Oh, it was so weird. It was so weird. But yeah, and like I'm getting a lot of text messages about it. I haven't even looked on social media like what people were saying about it, but yeah, just very, very interesting. He did say that he wasn't allowed to play. He wanted to play the main event, but he couldn't because he's a magician and they wouldn't let him. Is that an actual thing?
No, because that other magician played the other day.
I'm joking.
Oh,
I know
okay,
it's not a thing.
Are you being serious?
No. I mean, what would he do? Would he just like take someone's chip stack and walk away?
He'd levitate.
Would he? No. I used to be into Criss Angel back in the day.
You said that, and I was judging.
Like
you
back in the day, I think he used to have a show on TV and whatever, and then he got a big Vegas residency, and I don't know. I haven't been to the show because I've heard that it's not that good, and I've heard that he's fallen off. Whatever. I mean, not that it matters, but I just thought it was interesting that he was out here.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that similar to Guy Fieri, he came in, obviously in his style, and the bracelet matched his style. Like when Guy Fieri's got the big chains on, the bracelets, the rings, whatever. That's what Criss Angel has,
Mm-hmm.
like blinged out all over the place, right?
A bit of bling bling.
Also, Criss Angel's hair much better than Phil Ivey's hair. Way better than
Phil. That's
Phil
what Phil
Ivey's
had to look like.
Exactly.
Yeah, Phil could have got some pointers from Criss Angel.
So yeah, the main event bracelet was revealed. If you want to see photos of the bracelet, you can also go to the PokerGo Twitter account. I believe the front of the bracelet doesn't come off this time. Remember before it was like it popped up
card protector.
like a card protector. I was told it doesn't.
Okay.
Which is interesting. We were also told two more things on this. One, he said it was $500,000, $500K.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
I thought it used to be 250. So
yeah, I mean maybe they added more diamonds. Who knows? The thing is blinged out to all hell. I mean, look at it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that he kept saying $10 million first prize for the WSOP main event. He said it like 2 or 3 times.
Legally binding?
I mean, I wonder, well, two things. One is I wonder if on both sides, like let's say in a crazy world, they get 300 day 2 entries, which we know is not going to happen, but let's just, for argument's sake. So then are you for sure going to get a $10 million first place prize? And if you don't, do you then have to finagle the numbers because that's what Criss Angel said, which I'm sure somebody told him to say that, right? So there's that. The other side is like, what if 3,000 people show up? We set a new record. We're pushing 11,000 or whatever the number is. But he said 10 million, but it could really be 11 million without really affecting things. But is it still 10 million? So yeah. I just thought it was interesting that they put a number on it.
Good point. Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of it is I understand why they put a number on it, of course, because obviously it's the WSOP main event. You're doing this bracelet reveal. But I did think it was interesting that he put a number on it. And as soon as he said 10 million, I kind of like my ears perked up. Like, is that? I just heard that. My question to you about this whole thing is when should the WSOP main event bracelet be revealed? Do you like the day 1D reveal? Would you do it like on day 3? Like, how would you do it? When would you do it? Not how, but when.
I like the idea of pairing it with the prize pool announcement, making the prize pool announcement a big deal. Like the best time to do that is obviously the start of day 3. Everyone's in the room. You can make a big deal out of the bracelet reveal, the prize pool, how much they're playing for, all in one thing. Obviously, the way we do it now, it's on day 1D. We get the prize pool day, the eve, nighttime of day 2D. It's kind of just like, it doesn't have the gravitas as if you just synced everything to come out all on day 3. Now, obviously, we're going to lose 6 days of not showing the bracelet, but I don't think that matters that much.
I agree with you. I think you kick off day 3 with this.
Yeah.
You kick off day 3 by announcing the prize pool, right? You're going to have the day 2D late reg, that second day 2. You're going to have that late reg. You're probably going to need a little bit of time to reconcile the numbers, do whatever you want, make sure that they all line up, et cetera, fine. So you can hold it for a couple hours till that next day. You do the bracelet reveal, you do the prize pool reveal, which is essentially just the first place prize reveal. You make a whole thing out of it, right? And I also think, you can basically set the expectation, hey, we're doing this at 12 o'clock, right before we get the cards in the air on day 3. Everyone knows if you want to come in here and watch it, or maybe you could even be like, hey, we're going to do it at 11:50.
Yeah.
That way, if people want to come into this room and watch it all take place, also at that time, because there were people when you did it today, I had people texting me, they were like in Paris or whatever, they were kind of all like, what's happening? What's going on type of thing. Obviously, the people here could see it. But you get it. I think day 3, you would be in Horseshoe entirely, both rooms, but you would be in Horseshoe entirely, right? Or would you also be in Paris?
I think day 3, you were in Paris, in here, and in there. You get down into that room by the end of the day.
Well, still, these 2 rooms are full.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would the majority of the field is in here.
Yeah.
In these 2 rooms. So, you can say, hey, we're doing this at 11:50. So the people even from the other room, they have time to walk over, see it. It creates this big crowd around the whole thing. And then, you end it at it's like a 6-7 minute ceremony. So it ends at 11:56, 11:57. Everyone has time to get back over there to their seats. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is great, and you kind of make a big planned moment of it. So yeah, I think also then, when you want to do things like, hey, let's all start cheering. If you set the expectation, the people that really want to come and see it and cheer are going to come to the front.
Yeah.
Right. Versus you have no idea what these players are in here and what they want to do. They're all kind of like, oh, we're doing this now. I thought we were coming back from break. So yeah, I think that would be a cool thing. Yeah. Is there anyone you would want to see do it?
Who's the guy? Who's the
Guy Fieri?
Guy Fieri.
I kind of want Guy Fieri every year. I mean, I love Guy Fieri. That was
the guy
best
in the
one.
National Lampoons. Why am I blanking right now?
Chevy Chase?
No, big black hair, sings a lot.
I don't know.
I want to say Barry Manilow, but I know it's not Barry Manilow.
I don't know.
Oh my God, it's driving me crazy. Wayne Newton.
Oh, Wayne Newton. Yeah.
Like someone like that, like someone that's got like some Vegas history, that is a really iconic person for the city. I think is good. I think if you really want some buzz, famous athletes, always a good one. Obviously Caesars is always going to lean into who they have on property. Remember a couple of years ago, we had a lot of like Linda Vanderpump stuff because she was opening a restaurant. We had
Lisa,
sorry. We had Guy Fieri, obviously, because we have, the restaurant here. So they're going to lean into Caesars properties, which is fine. But they could also lean into Caesars partnerships with WNBA, the Raiders, whoever it may be, to try and get, not like the Raiders have any stars right now, but maybe in a few years they have a really good running back or wide receiver or something that
you could do something with like the Raiders, like
the Raidettes, or what is it called, the Raidettes?
You could do something with like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I think you could maybe do Steve Aoki.
That could be a good one.
This one might be a little too old, but Mike Tyson.
There'll still be buzz with Mike Tyson. Like you could just nearly pull any famous athlete to do it. Really, to be honest, it will create some buzz. But I think you have to build.
Tom Brady.
That'd be excellent.
Now part owner of the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right?
You just have to make it a spectacle in a good way. I'm not talking like a bad show. I'm talking about like plan it, execute, kind of go from there. I don't think you need the whole walk-in. We've done the walk-in now with Guy Fieri, done the walk-in with Vince Vaughn, we've done the walk-in with Criss Angel. I don't think that matters. I don't think the walk-in does anything. If anything, it just annoys production and annoys the people that are standing in the rails or the friends. Like you started on day 3, when you unlock those doors, you have everyone on the stage. If it was for Criss Angel or something, you have him positioned. He can have his magic stuff, and you can have whatever he needs there, and people walk into that and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" Instead of doing this walkthrough and trying to engineer this like extravagant production setup, I don't think we need to do that. For the money, I still love that. Put them in the cardboard boxes. No more briefcases. I want cardboard boxes. But
you can do the Vegas Golden Knights, something with them.
Sure. What's the mascot?
Chance?
Yeah, you could do chance.
Well, you could do. Yeah, you could do. Well, actually, they probably wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. Now I think about it.
But either way, like I think you could just plan a little differently and make it more viewer friendly.
Now, I also think that while we are critiquing it, I do think it belongs. Like I know that there's people out there that say like, why are we doing this type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Again, we say it all the time. The main event is way over here. It is so different than everyone else. Like I feel like if you're gonna go crazy, wacky, over the top, pizzazz, jazz hands, big spotlight, spectacle, all that sort of stuff, this is the event you do it for.
Yeah.
Right. So I know there are some people, a lot of players often when they're playing, like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? Can we just play poker? Whatever. I mean, I like this craziness, this wackiness for it all. I think it makes the event just also stand above or, over here by itself and just be this crazy spectacle of a tournament. Yes, does it need to be a little bit better? Fine, yes. But I do like having the element, right? Just like I ultimately like having Phil Hummus's wacky entrances. I think those entrances need to be better, right? But I think having them is like kind of just the fucking the shit show of, in a good way, of the WSOP main event. Like that's like one of the weird, cool things about it. You get people singing, you get people dressing up and stuff, you get people yelling and screaming, like you get the whole thing. And I think this is part of it. So, I like it. For the people that don't want it, I would say no to you. I would just say, let's just do it all a little bit better. But anyway, anything else on the main event from you?
No.
All right, cool. Nothing else on the main event. Let's just move along. But first, I do want to remind you that this podcast is brought to you by True Classic, the home of high quality, affordable tees for men. Also have bottoms. They have activewear. They have a wide variety of tops. It's not just tees. It's all available at trueclassictees.com. And if you guys want to go to trueclassictees.com/TCPokerGo, that is where you can have a chance to win one of 15 $5,000 packages to play in an event at the PokerGo studio. It is a special signature end-of-year event likely taking place in December of 2025, but the date is still being finalized. But anyway, trueclassictees.com/TCPokerGo. We are giving away 15 $5,000 packages. You just have to go there, follow the rules, the prompts, tell us your poker story. We want to hear about, your dreams and aspirations, why you got into the game. If there's some sort of meaningful tie-in with your life, tell it to us. This isn't like a poker story like, hey, I played this hand, or hey, this is the bad beat. No. Like, tell us like the more overall picture of your poker life, how you got into it, why you want to go on to, have this chance to play in this event, what the game means to you, etc. So yeah, so check that out, trueclassictees.com/TCPokerGo. And we had 4 people play the main event. One person busted, and these people all won past giveaways with us. 3 of them are still in. So we currently still in. We have Jesse Simon. He's going to be back tomorrow. We got Mike Baldwin also going to be back tomorrow. Today. Both those players are back today. And then Nick Nicastro, he bagged at the end of 1D, so he'll be back on Monday. So when I tell you guys that we got giveaways for seats and important seats and big events and all that sort of stuff, it's happening. So don't miss your shot. trueclassictees.com/TCPokerGo. Mike Gorodinsky, he won his 5th WSOP Gold Bracelet. He topped a field of 195 entries in the 10K 8-game championship to win $422,000. A 2-day battle with Eric Wasserson.
Yeah.
They battled the night prior. They ended up bagging chips heads up. They came back on Saturday. They finished it out. Mike Gorodinsky comes out on top. Eric Wasserson in second place for, what did he get? 325, 300?
270 something, yeah.
270 something. Okay.
Let me check.
Whatever. Wasserson was looking for his second WSOP Gold Bracelet. 277? Okay. I was way off. Wasserson was looking for his second gold bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
And These two were they heads up?
No, 3-handed in WSOP Paradise.
That's when Wasserson won it.
Yeah. Josh Aria was the third member of that. Eric won the 25K Dealer's Choice. So, yeah, they'd had some battles together, short-handed battles recently. Late on day 3, Gordo was struggling on chips, struggling with health. He was not feeling well during this event. But yeah, they bagged up. He was about a 6-1 underdog, came back on day 4 and erased that disadvantage. Parlay that all the way up to a victory. Final hand came in no limit. It was ace queen for Gordo on an ace high board. Eric Wasserson turned a flush and straight draw. Got it all in. Didn't hit it. And 5th bracelet to Mike Gorodinsky. 5 bracelets in 13 years. First one, 2013, the 2500 OE. 2015, the 50K PPC. 2023, 10K Horse Championship. And then 2024 in Paradise, he won the 10K PLO. So 5 WSOP bracelets for Gordo.
Alrighty. Good rail in that one too for the heads up today.
Yeah.
I saw Jared Bleznick before he hopped into the main event. He was on the rail alongside Jason Mercier and Ray Dekargani. Also Justin Smith, aka Boosted J. He was on that rail too. So that was a pretty powerful rail over there watching this event. The $2,500 no limit Hold'em Freezeout is down to the final 4 players from a field of 1,299. There was almost 450K for first place. Brazil's Breno Drummond leads the way with 18.5 million. That's good for 31 big blinds. Preston McEwen is second in chips with 21 big blinds. Kerry Katz, founder of PokerGo, he's third with 14 big blinds, and then Jehoon Bayek is 4 out of 4 with 10 big blinds. They are guaranteed what? What are these guys guaranteed? $155,000. 155, 213, 298, and 449. They battled for a while today. Ultimately ended up bagging chips. They're going to come back on Sunday. But isn't Breno in day 2 of the main event? So what are they going to do?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Let me see if it's.
I think she's going to try multi-table, sounds like.
He's going to try and multi-table.
I guess he doesn't really have an option. Could blind out of something.
Okay.
I guess it's best to blind out the main event.
How many chips does he have in the main? Look it up. App for tomorrow.
I don't know if they've gone through yet.
They have gone through yet because I have my thing. He already played. He played because if he's played one A, B, or C, one of those. They for sure have gone through.
Breno.
Yeah, Breno Drummond.
97K, 120 big blinds. Yeah, blind away, buddy.
He can definitely blind out for sure. So that's going to finish out on Sunday. Kerry Katz going for his first gold bracelet. I'm sure he would absolutely freaking love to get that one. The 1K no limit Hold'em, not a freeze out, even though I said it was a freeze out, but not a freeze out. Sean Deeb is the chip leader. How the hell did he get the chip lead?
On some hands.
Good Lord. Wait. Uri ran deep?
Guess so.
Oh, he squeezed into the money, even though he was left with one big blind late on day 1. I was very confused for a second. So there's 3 left from a field of 1,873. Sean Deeb is in the lead. He's got 35 big blinds. Zdenek Zizka is second in chips with 20 big blinds. And then Jeffrey Tony is third. Jeffrey Tony, podcast listener, Jeffrey Tony, who I talked to.
Jeff from Green Bay.
Yes, Jeff from Green Bay. And I forgot his friend's name. I put it in my phone. Believe he said Jeremiah from Green Bay. My phone is obviously over there doing the freaking video for the podcast, so I can't look it up. But I'm pretty sure he said Jeremiah.
Okay.
Or maybe Jeremy from Green Bay, Wisconsin. But he was rallying Jeff, and Jeff was at the final table, and Jeff is now in. He's got 6 big blinds. He's short, but heck, he's still in the game, and he's guaranteed $112,000. Goes 112, 154, and then $232,000 up top. Sean Deeb is very much trying to lock up WSOP Player of the Year just out of nowhere. He just like stormed to the end. He wins that the 100K PLO high roller, and now he is the chip leader with 3 remaining in this 1K no limit hole. And so we very well might not see Sean Deeb in the WSOP main event. Like we may just see him grinding out these other tournaments. I mean, maybe he fires in the main event. We'll see. But for right now, it's all about POI for Mr. Deeb. What's going on Sunday, July 6th there?
One event kicking off. Day 1A of the 600 Ultra Stack.
That's the freaking Losers Lounge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to everyone, but that's like lounge. That's the I busted the main event.
Yep.
I'm going to play this.
Yeah. Or also day 2 ABC for those who are not in the main event yet, or people like you that have bagged on one of the first 3 opening flights. So just that one event kicking off Sunday, July 6th from here at the Horseshoe.
When does this WPT event kick off? Oh, it doesn't kick off till the 11th.
Yeah, a couple more days.
Oh, I thought it would kick off a little bit earlier than that. Okay, whatever. So skip that. So that's all we got going on. I will be in day 2 ABC. I get to sit next to the King, John Reardon.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully it leads to me spinning it up. I'm going to start with 44 big blinds. So I got a lot to work with. I would rather have 300, so I'm going to do my best to make that happen and see what goes from there. So, yeah, that wraps up the event stuff. Community cards?
Yeah, of course, always.
Okay.
Always.
All right.
Hats are flying. Said it last night. It still applies. I met Mark and James from Michigan. Get them out. Chris and Daniel from the burbs of Melbourne.
The burbs?
The burbs.
What does that even mean?
Like the suburbs.
Yeah, what does the
They're
suburbs
out in
mean?
Whoopty-Doop.
Okay.
Yeah. Them how they're talking about how they listen to it. They haven't listened to it recently because they just got over here, but listened to it on their drive to work. And then we had 2 podcast listeners playing the main event today. So first, Kevin Butler, I saw him 2 days ago. He said, I need a hat. I'm playing in the Horseshoe. Said, send me your table number. Put a picture of him right here playing. Producer Rich, work your magic right here. Picture of Kevin. He finished with 93,100 in chips. Finished 299th last year for 45K. So he's looking to parlay some more PokerGO podcast hat run good. And then Peter Huddling, saw me walking down the aisle here in this gold section, was like, family pot. I'm like, I'll come back. Came back, was late level 4. He had around 9K. Gave him a hat. He put it. I saw him bending it and taking the stickers off, getting it right. We shot a photo of him too. Producer Rich put it right here. Not as good for Peter as Kevin. Peter bagged 6,400, but chipping a chair. That's all that matters. Do you have any community cards?
Well, we talked about Jeff being in the final 3 of that 1K. His buddy, who I am blanking on his name, I think it's Jeremiah or Jeremy. God forgive me. I am very sorry. But he said he bagged the main event.
Oh wait, I have one more.
And then I think his wife also bagged the main event. I have I believe it was Miles, who is invested in our fantasy team. He also bagged the main event. I believe he said he was down to 18K and got it up to 80 or 90, maybe 70, whatever. He did very well after getting down. So there's that. I'm just going to have to do some of these shout-outs tomorrow because they're on my phone and they're over there and I forgot to put them on my computer. So, I'm just... Actually, let me see if I can... I don't know if I have this one in the cloud. That's the problem. That is.
You don't have all your notes synced to the cloud?
No, I don't. I'm a fish like that.
I'm going to tell a story then. I met Mike from Cincinnati. Okay. Said him and his wife listen to the pod together.
Mm-hmm.
They just came into town. He was with a buddy. They both played the main event. They both bagged. Mike bagged 140,000 chips. Excellent.
Okay.
He was telling me a story about how he was sitting with Tristan Wade. Your co-commentator. And, he was saying Tristan is such a great guy, so nice. he was talking to everyone at the table, making it very enjoyable kind of day one experience. So he really wanted to kind of like let Tristan know that great job. And then they had an empty seat, so they were talking about like who would you like, what celebrity living or dead would you want to fill that seat? Okay, and Mike told me that he chose Neil deGrasse Tyson. I thought that was pretty cool. He said some people were choosing Daniel Negreanu. That's kind of boring. But let me ask you that question. You're playing poker tomorrow, got an empty seat on your right. Who would you, celebrity-wise, think would be pretty cool to come sit next to you and enjoy the poker experience? Not to like, no, they don't play poker, you can beat them up. Just like, what would be a cool experience, to see that person that like sitting next to you?
I'd have to think about it, I think.
If
First one that pops into mind is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Well, that's a good one. Okay.
Oh, no, sorry. I know this is easy. Bill Simmons, 1,000%.
Oh, that's a good one.
Bill Simmons.
That's a great one.
I would
and
love that.
He does play some poker, right? So that's like, it is possible.
100%. Bill Simmons.
I was going to say...
This next person, I'll also say this person, but I feel like I could make this happen because I know him now. Nick Wright, I think would be fucking incredible.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't think that this question is meant for that. But Bill Simmons, for sure. Bill Simmons, I think Gary Vee would be cool. I'll say Tom Brady, but I don't want politically correct Tom Brady. I want like hanging out. Another one who would be really cool, Pat McAfee. I'm sure he'd be a fucking riot at the poker table. Absolute riot. The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, be a lot of fun too. Stone Cold Steve Austin would be a lot of fun too.
Yeah, some wrestlers would be fun.
From my childhood. Yeah.
I'd want Michael Jordan. Obviously, I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, but like knowing
because he's a bad gambler. Is that why?
No, but knowing his competitive nature, like seeing him lose a hand, win a hand, bluff a guy, I think could make some pretty like fun reactions from him, everyone at the table, obviously anyone filming him and stuff. And obviously it'd be pretty amazing to sit with, the greatest basketball player of all time. So, but yeah, I think there's lots of great candidates for here. I think Bill Simmons was a really good one from you. I didn't really think of that one. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I know Tristan doesn't really listen to the pod, but pass that message on to Tristan that Mike from Cincinnati really had an enjoyable time on day one playing with Tristan.
Okay.
So, and then I want to tell one more story before we go. I'm going to make this really quick. It's about a race I ran today. You've seen the video. I'm going to send producer Rich the video.
Can producer Rich also put the chair race video in the pod?
Yeah, so let's start with the chair race video, and this is...
We don't really need to start with it. Well, we won't talk about it. We'll just say there was a chair race video, which involved Ali Najad, Remco Rinkema, BJ Nemeth, and did Christiana, was she in the chair race? Was Mickey in the chair race? I can't remember. But anyway, you this happened at the Rio back in the day. It was main event time. It was very late at night, and basically we did some form of a chair race, which was uploaded to YouTube, so the video is out there. I don't think we need to show the whole video because it is very long. There's a lot of just talking in it, but I just like the main event shame, or the Hall of Shame, the main event Hall of Shame.
Yeah, for
the nonsense that we get into, and
so,
that led to what you had today.
Yeah, it was dinner break. We had In-N-Out today. I've been looking forward to In-N-Out for weeks. I had a burger, and then I was like, I'm going back for another burger.
I didn't get any In-N-Out, man. This is messed
you weren't
up.
here. You were doing commentary.
Yeah, it's messed up.
I had a second burger. I was standing outside with the guys. They had finished. And one of our audio techs, Matt Miller, goes, do you think you could beat me in a race? And I said, 100%. He goes, are you sure? I think I could. And he goes, I think I could beat you. And I said to him, I could beat you wearing my cowboy boots, these tight-ass pants I have on, and have a burger in my left hand. He goes, no way. Okay, let's race. So we're talking about racing. I'm still finishing this double from In-N-Out. And I'm like, okay, he's literally standing on the starting line, ready to run. I'm like, okay, relax, buddy. Finish my burger. And at this stage, everyone's come out of the trailer. They're all watching. some cameras are coming out. Maury's there. What are you guys going to bet? What do you got? He's just encouraging us like the president he is. And, you know, I finished my burger, wipe my face. I go, okay, fine, let's do this. And I already know I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm in boots and tight pants. I'm going to trip. I'm going to tear my pants open. But everyone's watching. He's challenging me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. Untuck my shirt. I take my media badge off. I take my watch off. I don't know really why I took my watch off, but I took my watch off. Maury and our producer Pat go down about 40 yards. Okay. So we're kind of doing a 40-yard dash here. We don't put anything on the line. You know, this is just pride at this point. Start on the blocks. Pat's going to go 3, 2, 1. Go. We're going to race 40 yards. I'm shitting myself, to be honest. I really think I'm going to eat shit.
Why?
I mean, boots, they've got no grip.
You're going to fall.
And we're in a car park, okay? Matt, by the way, is in sneakers. And to double down everything, I've got 2 double-doubles in my stomach. So I'm not sure that's the best feel to run a sprint, you know, in a car park with potholes, but whatever. We line up, 3, 2, 1, go. We take off. He has me by a little bit. Catch up pretty quickly. We get 3/4 of the way there. I'm in front of him probably by a foot. And he trips over and eats shit so bad on the concrete. Just lands, he rolls over, his legs go flying, shoe comes off. So you can see in this video. I turn, I see him fall, I turn, I straighten up, and I just put the hands out here just to run through the finish line. And so Matt Miller, our audio tech, joins the WSOP break/late night Hall of Shame for eating shit so bad in the car park of the PokerGO compound. But yeah, if you've seen that video, yeah, Matt's in a lot of pain. So his hip is very, very sore. But that's why you don't take me on.
Oh, damn.
You know, don't challenge me.
All right, shots fired. Sunday, we mentioned day 2 ABC of the main event. I will be in there, but also will Daniel Negreanu.
Yep.
Phil Hellmuth will be in there. Michael Mizrachi will be in there. So a lot of big names are coming out to play for 2 ABC on Sunday, July 6th. When does the coverage start?
It starts level 2 of the day, so about 2:20 p.m. Pacific time. That is 5:20 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to do 2 levels.
No, but that's not when the coverage starts. The coverage starts like 3:30 or
so that's when we start filming. So yeah, an hour later. My apologies. We're going to do 2 levels, so a 4-hour block. Going to break for dinner. Do the final 2 levels of the day.
Alrighty. That's the plan for Sunday. My plan is to try and bag a lot of chips at the end of it all. For Tim Duckworth, my name is Donnie Peters. We'll talk to you guys on the next episode.
Peace.